Oh man. I'm in some hot water. I'm in some hot water when it comes to all things Collin Gillespie and starting for the Phoenix Suns, as well as why Drew Petzing's probably going to come back next year. And I don't think he's the crutch of all the Arizona Cardinals' problems. I don't think firing him solves anything. This team's got a lot more issues. Let's talk about that much more in this edition of the Ben Garcia Show.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth? Better have thick skin like callus. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show. Go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show. Go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up and welcome in. Michael, this is your job, man. You're supposed to be the one that tells me to take down the sign. With that being said, what is up? Welcome into yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. Do me a favor, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the stream. Appreciate you guys being here on this wonderful Wednesday. We got a lot of things to get into. We got a lot of things to dig into. And fair warning, I don't think people are going to love some of the things I have to say today, but this is why I'm here. This is my lane. This is what I've always worn. I will say the thing that I believe other people will not say. And I do believe that there is real logic and real reasoning behind it, despite some people on social media going after me for, some takes, and that's okay. That's why I'm here. That's why I wear these things. That's why I continuously have these opinions. But we'll get to the Collin Gillespie needs to start for the Phoenix Suns take in just a minute. Instead, let's start with the Arizona Cardinals, and then we'll work our way over to the Phoenix Suns. So, I'm going to say something, like I kind of need to retract back what I've said for the Arizona Cardinals. And it's going to come off as like a I know more than you take, and that's not the point. The point is that this season might just be the season from hell, and you might just need a do-over. I'm going to continuously plant my flag in the I don't think that firing Jonathan Gannon is the answer. And let me say this right off the jump. Fire Drew Petzing or don't. Truthfully, I do not care. Very similar to the Kyler Murray scenario. You can do a lot better than Kyler Murray. You could also do a lot worse than Kyler Murray. And with that being said, I think with Drew Petzing, it's the same thing. You could do a lot better than Drew Petzing. You could do a lot worse than Drew Petzing. Get rid of Drew Petzing if you so desire. But here's what I'll say. Even though I didn't like the play call on 3rd and 1, and some people do, to Mike Evans on a play action deep crosser, and it didn't work. And then on 4th and 1, I don't think there's really much defending of this play. A toss crack to Bam Knight, who's a smaller back, getting stuffed on 4th and 1. There have been instances this year, multiple times, where I've said to myself, what is that play call? What is that play call? But I can't act like the offense isn't just statistically better with Jacoby Brissett taking over rather than Kyler Murray. And again, I don't want to dive deep into Kyler. It's not really an interest of mine. But what I'll say is, since taking over for the Cardinals starting quarterback in week 6, Jacoby Brissett leads in completions, passing yards, first down passing, 300-yard games, and just 4 quarterbacks have more passing touchdowns than he does. Stafford, Drake May, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes. It's easy to say, like, what I want to challenge fans to do when they watch this show is to think outside the box. One of the things that I'm getting in trouble for on social media right now is I think Collin Gillespie would be a better fit for the Phoenix Suns starting lineup than Jalen Green. And people are losing their mind over it. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for it. That's okay. That's the lane I signed up for. But I think there's more to sports than just going with groupthink. I try to stray myself apart from groupthink. Sometimes that can lead me into bad roads. That can lead me into just being a contrarian. I don't think that's the case with Drew Petzing as the Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator. I want to reiterate once again, fire Drew Petzing or don't. I really don't care. I really don't care. But I don't want this idea to be put in your head that the Arizona Cardinals are going to get drastically better as soon as Drew Petzing walks out that door. Because here are the facts. Whenever Drew Petzing has had a top half running back, let's just say that's what it is with James Conner, he's had at least a top 7 rushing offense. Top 7 last year, top 5 the year before. He's had some pretty good rushing offenses. When you hand him Bam Knight and Michael Carter, who I've been telling you guys for years, he ain't that great. He's fine on the Cardinals. Good player, solid 4th string running back, but he ain't a starter. And so I'm kind of, and this is on me too, guys. I went through that groupthink phase for a second there. I was one of the people who said Drew Petzing should be fired. And maybe he should be. But I wish I could retract that take just a little bit. It feels a little trendy. It feels a little groupthinky. I think Drew Petzing has actually done enough in the area of keeping his job than he has not keeping his job. Yesterday on the Cardinal Squad show, my guy Alex Clancy said, Drew Petzing has done 50.00001% the direction of keeping his job. I'd probably bump it up to more to like 55%. And here's why. The offense has looked the same under Kyler. It's very stagnant. It doesn't throw the ball deep downfield. It doesn't move with real efficiency. That's not really the case with Jacoby Brissett. Now, the Cardinals are getting blown out in 2 of these games that I'll talk about this. But since taking over as the Cardinals starting quarterback in Week 6, Jacoby Brissett leads the NFL in completions, passing yards, first down passing, 300-yard games, and just 4 quarterbacks have more passing touchdowns than him. That's Stafford, Drake May, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes. There is no argument that the offense doesn't look better under Jacoby Brissett. Now, again, you want to move on from Petzing, move on from Petzing. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is Drew Petzing has gotten an unfair share of the blame for the Arizona Cardinals season. He has. Does he do stuff that makes you scratch your head and say, what the hell did I just watch? Yes. Yes. He's done that on more than one occasions, which is why I say if you want to fire him, fire him. This is not a keep Drew Petzing around take. I don't care. This team, I think, is closer than you think and just needs to find the franchise quarterback as well as get healthy. Because I think any offensive coordinator, not named Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, one of those elite top 5 level guys, those elite top 5 play callers in the NFL. The right side of the offensive line is terrible. The right guard, the right tackle position is just abysmal. You combine that with having Bam Knight and Michael Carter as your running backs. Every single offensive coordinator is going to struggle. Here's the other thing. I think instead of blaming Drew Petzing, you should blame Jonathan Gannon. Because Drew Petzing has full autonomy to call plays. We know that. He can call whatever he wants on 3rd and 1. He can call whatever he wants on 4th and 1. But Jonathan Gannon has the right to overrule him, and he never does. In fact, he backs him every single week, even when Drew Petzing has a horrendous play call. I think it's become a little too easy to say Drew Petzing wears the most blame for this Cardinals season. I don't think it's true. Because whenever he has had a top 15 running back, last year, top 7 rushing attack, year before that, top 5 rushing attack. Whenever his right tackles weren't just cones, they won, 8 games last year? 7 games last year. It's not just on Drew Petzing. And again, fire him if you want. I don't care. The point is, this season has come down to the inability to win close games. The inability to stay healthy. When the Cardinals were fully healthy on defense, they were a top 5 statistical defense in football. And that's what this team is built upon. Score 20 points on offense. The defense will take care of the rest. And so, I think it is a bit of a lazy narrative to say Drew Petzing should wear most of the blame. Drew Petzing should wear most of the blame. When your offensive line is terrible, when your running backs wouldn't start on 20 of the other 30-something teams in the NFL, I think you get a little bit of a pass. And if I'm going to sit here and defend Jonathan Gannon because his defense hasn't been healthy all year, I have to give the same defense to Drew Petzing. And part of the blame also goes to Kyler. And you look at what I just said before. Since taking over as the Cardinals starting quarterback in week 6, Jacoby Brissett leads the NFL in completions, passing yards, first down passing, 300-yard games, and only 4 other quarterbacks have more passing touchdowns than he does. The offense is moving. Maybe not to the likes that you'd like to see it move. And the San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks games were embarrassing. But I don't think it's all on him. I don't think it's all on him. I think actually more blame goes to Jonathan Gannon, who I've been defending. But there's a reason. Tom Pelissero put out that Nick Rawlis and Drew Petzing, he believes, will both get head coaching interviews. There's a reason why Drew Petzing got a head coaching interview last year. Because the way the Arizona Cardinals fan base views Drew Petzing is not the same way everyone else views him. And so be careful what you wish for. You want to move on from him, cool. But it's very similar to the Kyler Murray thing. I think you can do a lot better than Drew. I also think you can do a lot worse than Drew. And then here's the other thing. My guy, Daint T1386 in the chat. I don't want to love this. Okay, 2 things. Daint 1386. I appreciate you donating to the show. Thank you so much. Even, whatever it is, thank you. However, what I will say is, again, like at this point, fire Drew. That's totally fine. You can fire him or don't. But I love my guy, Johnny Venerable. He has always been, he has his own takes. Him and I don't always agree, to be honest. We're not very close at all. But every time I've met and spoken with Johnny, very nice guy, very good dude. Treats me with the utmost respect when he probably shouldn't because he's up here and I'm way down here. So I love my guy, Johnny Venerable. I also love my guy, Bo Brock. 2 superb podcasters, but even better people. So I don't want to go after Johnny at all. Not afraid to go after people, but there's no reason for me to go after Johnny. Here's the other thing. Kyler Murray's not getting activated from his practice window. This is another take I think I want to have back. This is another take I want to have back. Kyler Murray not having his practice window opened, I think that's the right move. And the reasoning why I say that is, what's the point of bringing back Kyler Murray? What's the point? And here's the other thing. If Kyler Murray was to get activated off IR, would he start over Jacoby Brissett still? I just read you the statistics. Jacoby Brissett, since taking over in week 6, is one of the statistical leaders in a lot of categories. Completions, first down passing, passing yards, 300-yard games, and only 4 quarterbacks have more passing touchdowns than him since week 6. So, I just don't think it's the right move to bring Kyler Murray back from IR. And the thing is this. Let's say you're pro Kyler. I am not anymore. I am pro moving on. I'm not anti-Kyler. I'm pro moving on. Let's say Kyler Murray does come back. So what? So what? What happens? What happens if Kyler Murray moves on? What happens if Kyler Murray comes back? Sorry, not moves on. What happens if Kyler Murray comes back? Does it change anything? What if he comes back and wins 3 meaningless games in a row against the Bengals, against the Rams, and I don't know, against whatever team the Cardinals have left? What does it do? Are you keeping Kyler because of the last 3 games you saw? Or are you keeping Kyler because of the last 7 years of data? The Cardinals are saying, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, they've seen enough of Kyler. They've seen enough of him. In Jonathan Gannon's 3 years here, in the Cardinals' 7 years with Kyler Murray, they've said they've seen enough. And I don't think activating Kyler Murray back off IR, putting him out on the field, and risking him having a 3-game winning streak at the end of the season, when the season's over and nothing matters, and then trying to convince yourself back into the Kyler Murray boat. But here's the other thing. Here's the thing no one's talking about. Does Kyler Murray start for this team? Does Kyler Murray start for this team with Jacoby Brissett as the starting quarterback? Does he start over Jacoby Brissett? I don't think he does. And forget what you think. Forget what you think. Forget what I think. What do the Arizona Cardinals head coaches think? I think they're saving you from Kyler Murray being the backup quarterback to Jacoby Brissett. Because this offense looks night and day better. Good enough? No. And I don't think bringing Kyler Murray back is the correct things to go with that stuff. So, it doesn't make any sense to me to bring him back. It doesn't make any sense. And early in the season, if he would have came back and he let it rip for the last 10 weeks and he went 7-3 or whatever, right? Came back for the last 8 weeks and he went 6-2. Maybe you have a different conversation. But I'm not interested in bringing Kyler Murray back, him looking good for the final 3 games of the season, and then we're having this big dialogue of, well, maybe he turned a page. He probably didn't. The last 7 years of data tell you that. You could do a lot worse than Kyler. You could do a lot better than Kyler. And it's time for the Cardinals to go into the abyss and figure it out. Here's the thing that's getting a lot of people upset with me right now. I mean, literally, my phone is blowing up with notifications right now. 6.5. Great. This is going to be just, gonna have to deal with that all day. This is the world I signed up for. I did this last night on Locked On Suns, but I think it bears repeating today. I think Collin Gillespie should start over Jalen Green when Jalen Green is healthy. And I had someone reach out to me. Not reach out to me. That's actually not true at all. I had someone subtweet me, and I'm not interested in going after people on the show. If you want to go on social media, you can look at it. That's totally fine. This person has gone after media more than one time. His belief is the reason why teams aren't good is because the media, chases stars out of town. Here's what I'll say, because this is what I've learned from last night doing this show to right now doing this show. Jalen Green is viewed by some Suns fans as a star. He might be a star. He's still young. There is no empirical data. There is no data that shows you right now Jalen Green is a star. And why is that? Well, because two actual stars just got traded for older aging players, and it really bit them in the ass. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was traded for Paul George. You think the Clippers want a redo on that one? The Sacramento Kings traded Tyrese Halliburton for Domantas Sabonis. You think they want a redo on that one? You think after what the Rockets saw in trading a young ascending player for an aging star, and they said, yeah, we want to run that back. Let's see. It didn't work out well for them. Let's do it then. But fine. Totally fine. Totally fine. What data do we have that Jalen Green is a star? If Jalen Green was a star, I would totally agree with you. You're not sending a star to the bench. You're not doing that. But what data do we have that Jalen Green is a star? Because I could show you the statistics. I know sometimes people don't love that, but Jalen Green in the overall half court last year spent 83% of his time in the overall half court with the Houston Rockets as the number one scorer. Remember? The number one scorer on the second seed in the Western Conference. Spent 84% of his time in the half court. He averaged .914 points per possession. That was in the 34th percentile. According to points per possession rating, that rating was average. He shot 39% from the field and 47% effective field goal percentage. Jalen Green's three-point percentage is also not great. Yes, was he the leading scorer last year on the 2 seed? Absolutely. But he also shot 35% from three on 8 3-point attempts a game. That's not good. He also shot 42% from the field on 17.5 shot attempts last year. You might like Jalen Green. You might love Jalen Green. You might be the person that is defending, like, I see the star in him. That's fine. But you don't get to say someone's a star to help your argument when they're not. 0 all-star appearances. And this is not just this one guy who's gone after me on social media numerous times, subtweeted me this morning. Totally fine. Again, I don't care about any of that. People subtweet me all the time. Well, that's not true. I'm not that cool. People get upset with me all the time. But you've got you got a portion of the fan base who thinks that he's a star. There's no data to show that Jalen Green is a star. None. Zip, zilch, zero, nada. None. Now, he might be, but there's no data to prove it. None. Not efficiency, not three-point percentage, not field goal percentage, nothing. All we know is this. The Houston Rockets traded Jalen Green. And let's say that I'm assuming they watch more basketball than you, the fans, and they've been around Jalen Green more than you, the fans. Let's say that they know more about Jalen Green than you do, and they traded him away. So you can be the person that stands behind Jalen Green, and you could say, he's a star in the making. Totally fine. You're allowed to do that. But where's your reasoning behind it? Is it just a gut feeling? Because that's not good enough. It's not good enough. And what we've seen from Jalen Green is an inefficient basketball player who got a high volume shots last year and was the best shot creator on his team last year, but was he the most valuable? Now, I think Jalen Green is a very talented player. I think he has a spot on this team. But here's the other thing. The Suns reportedly tried to reroute Jalen Green to another team when they got him. That tells you what they think of him. So don't try to tell me this argument of Jalen Green is a star, because that is not true. It's not. He could be. I hope he does become one, but it ain't true. I'm talking about schematic fit. I'm not even telling you Collin Gillespie is better than Jalen Green. What I am telling you is 25 out of the 30 teams in the NBA would take Collin Gillespie and his contract over Jalen Green over his contract. They would. It would. Especially in a league that's hard capped. And Collin Gillespie, who is statistically better in the half court than Jalen Green, shoots a better 3-point percentage on more attempts this year. And for Collin Gillespie, who shoots a better 3-point percentage than himself last year on more attempts at over 40%, yeah, I think he fits better in the starting lineup than Jalen Green does. I think he does. And I think the best version of the Phoenix Suns is a lineup of Collin Gillespie, Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, Dillon Brooks, Mark Williams. I think it's the best version of the Phoenix Suns. Jalen Green comes off the bench, and all he has to worry about is scoring. And just so we're clear, like, this is an abundance of riches. This isn't me going after Jalen Green. Again, I think he still has a very prominent role on this team. But what I think is undoubtedly true is that Collin Gillespie fits better next to Devin Booker. And Grayson Allen, I also think, fits better next to Devin Booker. Both guys shoot over 40%. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if Grayson Allen does this year, so I can't speak to that. But both guys shoot over 40% from three this year, if I'm not mistaken. What is the best version of Devin Booker? Having players around him that can make opposing teams pay for doubling and tripling Devin Booker. That's the best version. Mark Williams, great rim runner, catching lobs, good player, been a defensive anchor this year. And then Dillon Brooks and Grayson Allen can still provide that defensive spark. It can't be Jalen Green and Collin Gillespie. You get too small and you're not good defensively enough. It can be one or the other. And if you're making me pick, I would take Collin Gillespie as a starter over Jalen Green. That's my point. And I'll stand by it. With that being said, guys, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to hit that like, share, subscribe button. I'll talk to all you guys on Friday at 8 a.m. We'll preview that Cardinals massacre matchup against the Los Angeles Rams. But until then, guys, I will talk to you guys on Friday at 8 a.m. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe.